Have you ever sensed a subtle disquiet deep within, like the earth beneath your feet is quivering, even as the world carries on, oblivious? It's a feeling that sneaks in, faint yet unrelenting, murmuring that something is amiss. That's where my tale begins. Not with a sudden jolt, but with a persistent unease that demanded attention. What I'm about to recount isn't merely a story. It's the moment my entire world fractured, exposing realities I never anticipated. For nearly 7 years my partner, let's call her Emma, and I had crafted a life that, to others, appeared solid, an unshakable bedrock. We had a daughter, Mia, who was my heart's core, my reason for rising each day, my light. Our routine had a soothing rhythm, a dependable flow that felt safe. Emma excelled in her marketing career, always on the go, securing contracts and forging networks. I worked remotely, a setup that allowed me to be there for Mia, escorting her to school, fixing her snacks, reading her bedtime stories. I believed I had mastered my role, perfectly balancing our shared existence. For years, Emma would return home by 8, sometimes sooner, and I'd have dinner ready. Mia's giggles would echo through the house, and we'd ease into the evening together, a family unwinding in harmony. But then something changed so slowly it was nearly imperceptible at first. She began sending brief texts, caught in a late client call, or having drinks with the team. Don't wait up. I told myself it was her ambition, her commitment to our future, to Mia's aspirations. We had dreams, savings plans, a vision for our daughter's future. Yet the late nights became more common. 9 turned to 10, then 11. She'd arrive home drained, her expression weary, offering little more than a sigh before heading to the shower and collapsing into bed. When I asked about her day, her response was always curt. It was exhausting. I'm spent. Can we talk later? But later never came. She'd leave at dawn, coffee in hand, brushing a quick kiss on Mia's forehead before vanishing. I tried to dismiss it as a demanding phase at work, a passing turbulence. But the disquiet deepened. Her phone, once left casually on the kitchen counter, was now perpetually face down, always muted. She carried it everywhere. The bathroom, the garden, even for a brief step outside. That wasn't the Emma I knew. Late-night messages would ping, and when I inquired, she'd flash a strained smile and say, "Just the office." But her smile had lost its warmth. Her laughter, once open and vibrant, now felt guarded, as if she were performing. I noticed it, of course, but I held my tongue. For Mia, for the life we'd built. I couldn't bear to fracture the world she still saw through innocent eyes, filled with finger paintings and fairy tales. I buried the pain in my chest, but it found me in the still hours when the house was quiet, and my mind raced with questions. I started staying awake after Emma slept, consumed by doubts, fears, possibilities. Then came the night that shattered everything. It was a Tuesday. She'd mentioned a late client dinner, saying she might not be back until midnight, possibly later. Midnight passed. I texted, no reply. Called straight to voicemail. Again and again, only silence. I sat on the sofa, the TV's dim flicker casting shadows, my gaze fixed on my phone. I checked on Mia, sleeping peacefully, unaware of the cracks forming beneath our lives. At 2:30, I heard a car. My heart pounded as I moved to the window. The headlights were off, the car gliding into the driveway. Then the passenger door opened, and there was Emma. She didn't exit right away. She leaned toward the driver, and then she kissed him. Not a fleeting farewell, but a kiss laden with intimacy, the kind that once was mine. I stepped back from the curtain, my breath caught, my chest constricting. I sank onto the bed's edge, hands clenched, my body buzzing with disbelief. I wanted to storm outside, to shout, to pull her from that car and demand answers. But Mia slept down the hall. I had to protect her, no matter how shattered I was. Emma slipped into the house like a shadow, assuming I was asleep. I lay motionless, eyes shut, breathing evenly, pretending. She moved to the bathroom, then slid into bed beside me. I stayed quiet, swallowing the tears, letting the weight of what I'd witnessed crush me. The next morning, I rose early, prepared Mia's breakfast, walked her to school with a practiced smile, acting as if the ground hadn't shifted. I didn't confront Emma. I didn't need her to weave another falsehood. I'd seen the truth. Instead, I quietly contacted a lawyer and filed for divorce that day. When Emma tried to explain to talk her way back, it was too late. The trust was ashes. I told her our only priority now was Mia, preserving her world as best we could. As the weeks unfolded, I moved to the guest room, clung to our routines, and showed up for Mia as always. But at night, the silence thundered, and I replayed every moment, wondering when the cracks began and why I hadn't seen them sooner. Months have passed, and I'm still piecing together the shards of my life. I channel my energy into Mia. She still laughs, still plays, still calls me Papa with the same boundless love. I hold that tightly with all I have. I don't have every answer, and the future remains unclear. But I've learned to heed that quiet instinct, that inner voice warning of something amiss. Sometimes it's the only thing separating you from the truth. If you're feeling that same disquiet, that same doubt, know this: it's not your imagination. You're not alone.